So what I'm going to do, Bonzi or Nina, I'm going to buy you in that round and move forward on that one. Give you guys a really quick, you guys can hop out. Then I see Johnny just jumped in, and then Ricky, if you can jump into the lobby, we'll have you next. Johnny is someone that we have not seen beforehand, but we know a lot about Ricky. Tell me what you're thinking
Yes.
on that matchup.
So I'm thinking, depending. I mean, I've seen Ricky play. We both have like Ricky. Like he's a big player in these parts, and I think that like with his Ridley, I mean, he might not even played Ridley when you think about it. Like Ricky has pretty decent. He has a pretty decent character pool. However, I do know like he really likes that pit, and he really likes Ridley. So I'm not sure what we'll be seeing out of JohnnySilent, but I know. I mean, recently Ricky competed in my own online tournament, and he even when playing against the best players that I had scouted and like found, he may have been down maybe a stock and still found a way to end up reversing that and clutching the victory. And so I kind of wonder, depending on whether or not this person he's playing against is like, let's say they're like pretty good, like will it be a pretty good match to watch, or will Ricky kind of just steamroll? Oh, okay.
He, funny enough, does not say anything. Johnny is kind of like one of those sleeper guys, so he might pop into this and might actually be pretty good. So I'd be curious to see. Looks like Ricky is selecting his character, and I think Johnny is just waiting for him to pop in. Johnny, you can go ahead and jump into the ring. And while we're doing that, let's take some updates on the bracket real quick.
All right. So we're looking here. We got Handyman and Bonzi in the
Coming up
second round.
next.
Yep. And then we got me moving up, and then we'll see what's with Forsaken Santiago and Jess.
Just Doki, yeah, I think he's Alex in IRL, so we'll see how that kind of goes. Let's come back, see if you guys are ready to match up.
Yeah.
Here we go, just in time.
Oh wow! So we're seeing the me Swordfighter come.
This is the first me fighter that we've seen.
Yes. Well, yeah, we'll see. I've never seen Ricky. I mean, I've seen lots of characters Ricky plays because we play like just for fun, and I get to see all of his wacky picks. But I've never seen him pick me Swordfighter. And Palutena, Johnny's playing Palu, and she's pretty well regarded. She's really good. I personally think she's top 3 in the whole game.
Oh wow! Okay.
And she's actually a character that, while you'll hear lots of people who dislike the character say she's very basic and easy to use, almost like some people even use the term brain, like quote unquote brain dead, just because how simple and straightforward she is. But that also is a weakness, because you'll see players like Chompy and Ricky and Santiago, like they know how to deal with like the simpler moves that Palutena can kind of throw out whenever. And while they are good moves, it's pretty easy counterplay. And so we'll kind of see Ricky probably go like back and forth. But Johnny taking the first stock is like, I think it's surprising to me at least, but only because he's like a newcomer, I think you said. I mean, he does come here Mario Kart. But,
no, but he's definitely a new player and this for us, so yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder, well, I mean, it also is like Ricky's out of his element a little bit playing me Swordfighter. And I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen him play this character. But it definitely is interesting, I will say that. And Johnny has racked up a bunch of percent that honestly is going to be very helpful. Because you'll kind of see like players, when they're playing matches like this and they take a stock or so, and they start to rack up any sort of damage, you'll see that like the person who just like took that damage, who's now like losing now, you'll see them maybe come back and deal like some damage. Oh, that's an SD, but that's all right, because I think the damage that Ricky has now, like he's got enough on to where Johnny will probably make the comeback. But like I was saying, so you'll see players like they'll take like 30 damage or so, and what'll happen is when you're at like only 30 damage, the person who took that damage is gonna be able to like send back that same amount or more. Like you'll see like Ricky, like let's say he takes 30 damage just now.
Okay.
He's gonna be able to deal that same amount, if not more, as long as he plays okay. And the only time that type of damage is ever a problem is like, let's say Ricky or Chompy, he is down like 83% on stock, and Johnny is still at like 0%. Like that's gonna be rough because he's already gonna like be at close to kill percent and be sent off that stage relatively quickly. And it's kind of like trying to like play a perfect game or something at that point. It's a lot of work to try and come back from, and it's a lot of stress too.
Yeah.
Especially like when you're in like a high level play, or even low. Like if you're at equal skill levels, or at any. Oh wow! And in true Ricky fashion, he does end up taking that stock. But I think it's interesting because, like we talked about at the beginning, like we didn't. Johnny is a wild card. Come back from, and it's a lot of stress too.
Sorry for the echo on that. Keep going.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, like it's interesting to see like how close that was. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Well, actually, I am a little surprised because once again, I have not seen Johnny in that. But then the other thing I think we also should take note is that I've only seen Ricky play Palutena so many times, and I think Ricky now is probably saying I need to go ahead and adjust this a little bit. Mimi, I do think that you guys' friend Tease might be in this, if that's Fox's brother, responding to the guys in the chat real quick. So, no, I think Ricky is definitely probably going to try to go with one of his more sure shot characters.
Yeah.
That was the first,
yeah,
not Palutena, that was the first time I saw him play as one of the Mii fighters, so that'll be interesting. Go ahead, take it away, man.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, like, you see the switch now, like, he is switching to Pit, and so Pit is, like, I believe it's his secondary, as what he calls it, but Pit is definitely one of the characters Ricky is proficient in. Like, we've seen him play this character plenty of times against various, like, players of any skill level, really, and Pit's a character that actually is considered a bit lower on the tier list, if you will, like, they're around like lower mid tier, if that like basically there's like 80 characters, and if you were to place Palutena somewhere, it'd be top of the cast, like top 3, and then most people would place Pit somewhere either in the middle or the lower middle, like, of that. And it's kind of interesting because Ricky, Santiago, and myself, we all have like we either play Pit or like we know how to, and Pit's pretty simple, like similar to Palutena in the sense that like it's not that like complex. You can play them, you can pick them up whenever, and they're a character that also like struggles in the sense that they don't have as good of moves as like somebody like Palutena. Whereas Palutena, she's simple, right? But she has so many moves that are all really good. Like none of her moves are a bad thing to try. Like you could throw out anything with her and probably get some damage on. Whereas Pit, while he like all of his moves are simple, they aren't all good. And now we're kind of seeing Ricky. He's like really dealing that damage, especially now. Like he's got that extra credit, as we call it, that 37% on Johnny, and now it's at 52. Like, this is kind of Ricky's specialty. Like when you're above like this and you have like the stock lead, you kind of want to deal as much damage as you can. And you'll kind of see this as a pattern with a lot of players, is they try to hold on to that stock for as long as they can. Because as soon as the other player ends up taking a stock off them, it's going to kind of, the turntables are going to happen. You're going to see Ricky switch from like true, like fully offensive to like a bit more in the middle. Because now he doesn't want to risk as much and lose that lead that he had. And while, I mean, also like the lead that he has is pretty big. Like he's got like a whole stock lead, and that's something that's pretty hard to come back from. But Johnny is pretty scrappy, so I wouldn't say it's out of his reach. Like the 2 games we've seen him play it's been pretty impressive. And Johnny's also doing lots of really good work in the sense that he's moving forward, he's moving backwards. Like he's also using his ranged moves like in conjunction with like his nair, his aerials and stuff like that. And you're kind of gonna see him keep doing that. Especially now. Oh, use that counter. That was really good. And the thing is that you really want, like, when you're at a high percent like this, you want to be very cautious about what types of things you start throwing out, especially online, where, like, if you throw something out because it was a misinput and you get punished because of that, it could change the whole dynamic of what was going on previously. And now that, especially now, Ricky has, like, all the time in the world. He's got 3 minutes, almost 4, but he's got 3.5 minutes, and all he has to do is take one stock, and there it is. And that's another win from Chompy. Although I will say that me Swordfighter was very surprising.
No, yeah, it'll be really interesting to kind of see, just to give that back to you. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how that kind of turns out for you, for him. Justina Leon, thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate that. It'll be really interesting to see how he does in the rest of the tournament. And, you know, he did not do bad per se against, you know, someone that has placed first in this for several weeks now.